Hey everyone, it's Nolan from Snapzilla with a quick snapshot on a game that released right before the holidays called Trail Climb. Trail Climb's by, I think the developer's called Good Boy. They got a bigger presence on Android than iOS, but I was actually kind of surprised with this one. And most of you guys know that I'm a big fan of racing games, off-road games. And there's a ton of them on the App Store. But this one, I actually, for $1, I decided to take a chance on. It's not perfect. I will say that. It freezes up and crashes. There was an update recently where it did help it out. So it's not a perfectly made game. But it's done fairly well. You play as this character. I can't even pronounce his name. We'll say his name's Michael. It's Russian. I'm not going to try to butcher it. But it's this really weird story about him. Maybe he's popular in Russia, but he's kind of a stunt man, and he's traveling through the world and even the planet. And once you pass each level, it has this weird little cutscene of him. Anyways, it's different to where it's actually worth playing. I'll do a kind of a quick run through of a handful of these tracks. The tracks do get fairly long, but as you can see, it looks really good. But see, it's starting to stutter already. It's not perfect. Sometimes you got to play the game for a couple minutes and let it freeze up on you and then start it over. But when it's playing good, or playing right, it's really fun. But some of these tracks, they're 15 minutes long. But it's your basic side-scroller off-roading game. You got to watch your damage, watch your fuel. When you get to the steeper parts of the areas, you got to start using your winch. And some of these mountains that you climb are actually damn near 90 degrees. But I'll show you in a minute. It gets kind of weird. It's this, what is this? I think this is Alaska, maybe. This is probably one of the most normal tracks that there is. There's your little guy up in the corner. The mud textures are really good. They'll even show the mud splatter up on the side of the truck. It's definitely the best looking that I've played on iOS, I think. If it just ran a little bit smoother. Alright, so I'll go try there you go. So you use your winch for certain things, but here, I'll jump into something else. I wish it was playing a little better right now. It doesn't really do the game justice. But you'll have to earn coins to get to other maps. Like you'll have like Mars out of the blue. It has not quite zero gravity, but pretty close. See, I'm just kind of messing with it now. But yeah, it gets really weird. Hold on, let me. Now you could pick from a bunch of different cars. And then you have these odd missions And runs. Runs are basically something chasing you. I guess it should have been called chase. It's more of a speed track. But then you have other ones where we'll do this one here, where you actually have to get out of the vehicle and throw bolts at these weird electromagnetic anomalies without blowing up your truck. Like right now you're going through some radioactive stuff. Ooh. But this is where it gets kind of odd. See, then you get out. Walk over to the anomaly and throw a bolt at it. Get back in your car and go to the next one. It just has these weird little, I don't know, things. The game's kind of all over the place. See? But yeah, the main purpose of these missions is to get supplies to the end of the track. And then you'll have tracks like, we'll go to Jump Fest. And it's actually a dirt bike. Now, I know most of you probably don't play these racing games, but I got to give credit where credit's due. It's a fun little indie game. For $1, it's premium. There's no in-app purchases. It's a little rough around the edges. It's not perfect by all means. The writing in it is, I guess the translation isn't perfect, which kind of adds to the funniness of the game. You can also upgrade a little bit. You can change the color of your vehicle, upgrade your winch, your fuel tank, the power of it. It's got kind of a little bit of everything. But for $1, I couldn't see not buying the game. I am playing it on an iPhone 8 Plus, so I'm not sure how it would run on an older device. You said it runs pretty rough on an iPhone 8, so buy at your own risk. But if you got an extra $1, definitely check out Trail Climb.